and push every button you have just to see you break. They don't do it because they're strong. They do it because deep down, they fear the strength that rests inside your calm. Think about it. Anger is what they expect. They want you to snap, to lose control, to fight battles that don't even belong to you. But calmness confuses them. It unsettles them. It forces them to face themselves. Because you didn't give them the reaction they crave. The world will try to shake you, to drag you into chaos, to steal your peace, but your true power lies in mastering your emotions. When you stay calm, you stay in control. When you stay calm, you show discipline, wisdom, and strength that no one can take away from you. So today, I want to show you how to hold on to your calmness when the world tries to strip it away. Because the one who controls their emotions controls the battlefield. When you begin to understand that not every attack against you is personal but intentional, everything about the way you respond starts to shift. People don't always come at you because you've done something wrong. Often they come because they can't handle what's right about you. They see something in you they can't control. A light they can't dim, a calm they can't disturb. And so they aim straight at your emotions because they know if they can pull you out of your calm, they've already won half the battle. Recognizing their intentions means you stop asking yourself, why are they treating me this way? And start saying, I see what they're trying to do. That shift is everything. It takes you from being a victim of their chaos to becoming the master of your own response. It keeps you from falling into their trap because once you know their game, you don't have to play it. Think about it. When someone is intentionally trying to anger you, it's rarely about you at all. It's about them needing to feel superior, them needing to feel powerful, them needing to control the narrative. The truth is, people who want to push your buttons usually do it because they can't handle their own insecurities. They need you to erupt so they don't have to face themselves. And once you begin to see this for what it is, you stop carrying their behavior on your shoulders. You don't take the insult as your truth because you recognize it as a tactic. And when you see tactics, you can step back and say, I will not give them what they came for. That awareness alone makes your calmness stronger than their attempts. But here's the tricky part. Most people don't realize they're being baited until it's too late. Someone mocks them, someone disrespects them, and instantly the reaction comes out. Words get thrown, tempers flare, bridges burn. And then later when the dust settles, regret sets in. That regret is heavy because it's the weight of knowing you handed your peace over to someone who didn't deserve it. Recognizing intentions means catching that bait in the moment. Noticing the smirk, the tone, the manipulation, and refusing to bite. It means saying to yourself, I know what you're doing and I'm not giving you my energy. That awareness keeps you free. It's like seeing the strings of a puppet show. You stop being pulled along because you realize someone is trying to control the whole performance. The ability to see intentions requires discipline. It means training yourself not to live on autopilot where every offense demands a reaction. Instead, you develop the vision to pause and analyze, is this worth my peace? Is this situation about me or is it about them trying to project their chaos on?
Wow, family. Wow. Welcome to my channel. We are talking a powerful message tonight. Talking about the pause and calmness and holding on to your peace and when to react and when not to react and how not to react. Guys, thank you for coming. I'm so glad. Please, the chat is open. Leave a comment as we continue in this powerful message that we have here tonight. So, all right, let's find out now and let's see, can we get ourselves back over here into our video.
To me. And once you start asking those questions, the answer becomes clear. Most of the time, it has nothing to do with you. That realization changes everything. Because when you know the attack isn't about your worth, but about their insecurity, you stop feeling the need to defend yourself. You stop wasting your words trying to convince someone of your value because your calmness already proves it. Recognizing their intentions is about understanding human nature. Hurt people try to hurt people. Insecure people try to belittle others. Weak people try to provoke strong ones. It's not because you are unworthy, it's because your presence exposes something inside them they haven't dealt with. If you shine too bright, they want to dim you.
Wow.
If you walk too strong, they want to disturb it. But once you recognize this pattern, you stop blaming yourself and start guarding yourself. You start realizing that not every conversation deserves your words. Not every provocation deserves your reaction. And not every person deserves access to your peace. Let me tell you something. Calmness is power, and people who want to see you angry know this. That's why they come for it. That's why they poke. That's why they whisper. Because deep down they know that your peace unsettles them. Your calmness reminds them of what they don't have. And if they can take you out of that calm, they feel as if they've stolen a piece of your power. But when you recognize their intentions, you flip the script. You stop being predictable. They expect you to yell, but you don't. They expect you to fight, but you stay silent. They expect you to crumble, but you stand taller. And in that moment, they are the ones who lose, not you. This is why discernment is so important. Because not every battle is worth fighting. And not every attack requires defense. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply see it for what it is, a trap. And when you recognize a trap, you don't argue with it, you don't wrestle with it, you just step over it and keep walking. That's how you keep your energy, your dignity, your peace. People may call it weakness when you don't react, but in reality, it's the highest form of strength. Because it takes nothing to explode, but it takes everything to stay calm when you're provoked. Recognizing intentions arms you with that strength. And let's be honest, there will always be people who feed on reactions. They thrive off drama. They look for your anger like oxygen because it validates their chaos. But you don't have to give them that satisfaction. When you recognize what they're doing, you cut off their supply. You take away the fuel that feeds their fire. And in doing so, you teach them that you can't be manipulated. You teach them that your peace is not up for sale, not up for trade, and not up for debate. That is how you win. Not by shouting louder, not by striking back, but by recognizing the game and refusing to play it.
Wow.
So the next time someone tries to pull you into anger, remember this truth. Their intentions are not about you, they're about them. Their attack is not a reflection of your worth, but a reflection of their weakness. And the moment you recognize that, you reclaim your control. You stop letting their actions dictate your emotions, and you start living from a place of strength rather than reaction. Because your calm isn't ignorance, it's intelligence. It's knowing that your peace is too precious to waste on battles that don't deserve you. There is a moment between what happens to you and how you respond. And that moment is where your power lives. Most people never see it, never use it, because they let impulse take over. They get insulted and instantly their tongue lashes out. They get provoked and instantly their temper explodes. But when you learn to pause, you just pause for a second. You create a space wide enough to protect your peace. The pause is where wisdom is born. The pause is where clarity enters. The pause is where you decide whether you want to hand your emotions over to someone else or keep them in your own hands. And the truth is, the one who learns to pause holds more strength than the one who swings first. It's not weakness to hold back. It's discipline. It's maturity. It's knowing that sometimes silence speaks louder than words, and patience cuts deeper than anger ever could. Think about the last time you reacted instantly in anger. Did it ever make things better, or did it leave you with words you wish you could take back, damage you wish you could undo? That's the danger of skipping the pause. You don't give yourself time to think, and when thought is absent, regret becomes your companion. But when you master the pause, you give yourself a gift. The gift of control. You stop being a puppet pulled by other people's strings, and you start being the master of your own actions. The pause is a shield, a filter, a guardian of your dignity. It catches the heat before it burns you. It catches the poison before it spreads. And it catches the weakness before it leaks out of you. When you pause, you step out of the trap that anger sets for you. The pause is not about doing nothing. It's about doing the right thing at the right time. It gives you the chance to breathe, to center yourself, to ask, what do I really want out of this moment? Do you want revenge, or do you want peace? Do you want to win the argument, or do you want to win your freedom from it? Most of the time when you give yourself that question in the pause, you realize that the argument isn't even worth it. You realize that proving a point doesn't heal anything. You realize that silence often screams louder than rage. And suddenly, the temptation to react loses its grip. That is the power of the pause. It saves you from battles that are beneath you. It takes humility to pause because the ego always wants to be heard. The ego always wants to clap back to show power, to get the last word. But true strength doesn't always speak. It observes. True strength doesn't always fight. It calculates. When you pause, you're telling your ego to sit down so your wisdom can stand up. And the more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. At first, you'll feel the fire rising in your chest, the words pressing at your tongue, and it will feel almost impossible to hold them back. But if you breathe, if you hold just for a moment, you'll notice the fire cools. You'll notice the urge weakens. And you'll notice that what once felt like a necessity to respond now feels unnecessary. That is growth. That is transformation. Here's the truth. People who want you angry are betting that you won't pause. They're counting on your instant reaction. They're banking on your impulse. Why? Because when you don't pause, you give them control. But when you do pause, you snatch it back. They may throw the insult, but the pause keeps you from swallowing it. They may spark the fire, but the pause keeps you from burning down your own house in response. That's why the pause isn't just a tactic, it's a weapon. It disarms the enemy without you having to swing. It confuses them because they expected rage, but found restraint. And nothing unsettles a provocateur more than calmness where they expected chaos. You've got to train yourself for this. It doesn't come easy, especially if you've spent years reacting instantly to every attack. Mastering the pause means rewiring your habits. It means choosing silence over shouting, breathing over breaking, wisdom over warfare. And like any skill, it takes practice. But every time you do it, every time you resist the urge to explode, you get stronger. You build muscles in your patience, in your discipline, in your emotional control. And soon enough, what once felt like a battle becomes your nature. You start noticing that you don't get dragged into foolishness like before. You start realizing that your peace lasts longer, your regrets shrink smaller, and your power grows greater. That's the fruit of mastering the pause. The pause also gives you perspective. In the heat of the moment, everything feels bigger than it really is. A small insult feels like a war. A minor disrespect feels like betrayal. But when you pause, the fog clears. You realize that not everything deserves your energy, that not everyone deserves your response. You begin to see the difference between battles that matter and distractions designed to steal your focus. That shift alone saves you years of wasted energy. Because once you understand that not every fight is yours to fight, you become unstoppable. You don't waste your bullets on shadows, you save them for what truly matters. And let me remind you of this. Sometimes the pause is not for them, it's for you. It's to protect your heart from saying what it doesn't mean. It's to protect your mind from being hijacked by rage. It's to protect your soul from carrying bitterness it doesn't deserve. That pause is healing. That pause is power. That pause is proof that you've grown beyond being controlled by every storm around you. And once you've tasted that kind of control, you'll never want to go back to the old way of living. Because peace feels better than winning an argument, and silence feels better than regret. So the next time you feel provoked, remember this truth. You don't have to respond right away. You don't have to give them what they're hungry for. You don't have to let their chaos dictate your calm. Take that pause, breathe, think, let your silence work for you, because the one who pauses is never weak. The one who pauses is the one who truly holds the power. Protecting your peace is not selfish, it is survival. It is recognizing that your mind, your heart, and your spirit are treasures too valuable to be thrown into every storm that comes your way. Too often people live as if their peace is disposable, handing it over to whoever comes with drama, negativity, or disrespect. But let me tell you, if you don't guard your peace, the world will gladly take it from you. Every insult, every provocation, every toxic interaction becomes a thief, robbing you of the calm you worked so hard to build. Protecting your peace means drawing a line in the sand and saying, no matter what happens outside of me, I will not allow it to ruin what's inside of me. It's not about ignoring reality. It's about refusing to give your power to people who don't deserve it. When you protect your peace, you begin to understand that not every phone call needs to be answered, not every message requires a reply, and not every person deserves access to your energy. You stop moving through life as if you owe your calm to everyone around you. Instead, you start seeing your peace as sacred, something that must be guarded the same way a soldier guards a gate. And when people realize they can't shake you, they get frustrated. They'll call you cold. They'll say you've changed. They'll try to guilt you back into their chaos. But that's because your peace threatens them. It shows them they no longer have the power to pull you into their storms. Protecting your peace is about setting boundaries that honor your well-being over their expectations. But here's what many people don't understand. Protecting your peace doesn't always mean walking away from others. Sometimes it means walking away from the battles inside yourself. It means silencing the doubts, the regrets, the overthinking that steals your joy even when no one else is around. How many nights have you lost sleep replaying arguments in your head, conversations that already ended, moments you can't change? That's your mind robbing your peace. And protecting it means deciding, I will not let my past haunt my present. I will not let fear of tomorrow poison the gift of today. Peace is not just about the noise around you, it's about the noise within you. Guard it fiercely. People will try to convince you that losing your calm is strength, that exploding in anger shows power. But that's a lie. Real strength is in holding yourself together when everything around you is falling apart. Real strength is keeping your tone steady when others shout, keeping your focus when others distract, keeping your values intact when others try to corrupt you. Protecting your peace is not about being passive, it's about being wise. It's saying, I don't need to fight every fight because my energy is too valuable to be wasted. You learn to pick your battles carefully and you realize most of them aren't worth fighting at all. That's not weakness, that's strategy. That's how kings and queens preserve their kingdoms, by knowing which battles to walk away from. Protecting your peace means saying no unapologetically. Too often we say yes to things that drain us just to keep others happy. But every time you say yes when you really mean no, you trade a piece of your peace for their comfort. And that trade is never worth it. You have to value your well-being more than their approval. Because the truth is, no matter how much you give, people who want to see you broken will never be satisfied. They'll always want more. Always want you to bend. Always want you to give up your calm so they can feel bigger. Protecting your peace is looking them in the eye and saying, no more. My calm is not for sale. My dignity is not up for negotiation. And don't forget, protecting your peace also means protecting your environment. You cannot surround yourself with constant negativity and expect to live in calm. If every room you walk into is filled with gossip, conflict, and complaints, your peace will bleed out of you. Sometimes you need to change your circle. Sometimes you need to step away from people who drain you, not because you hate them, but because you love yourself enough to keep your peace intact. Your atmosphere matters. If you plant a seed in toxic soil, it will never grow. And if you plant your spirit in toxic company, your peace will always wither. Protect your environment like your life depends on it, because it does. Peace is also about perspective. If you see every challenge as a personal attack, you will always be restless. But if you see challenges as lessons, obstacles as opportunities, and silence as strength, your peace grows stronger. Protecting it means training your mind to see differently, to focus on what builds you instead of what breaks you. That doesn't mean denying pain. It means refusing to let pain define you. It means saying, yes, life may throw storms, but I refuse to become the storm. And that shift in perspective becomes armor. It shields your peace against whatever the world hurls at you. Protecting your peace will cost you things, relationships, habits, and even parts of yourself you once thought you couldn't live without. But what you gain is far greater. You gain clarity, freedom, focus. You gain the ability to walk into chaos and remain untouched. You gain the strength to stand in the fire and not let it consume you. And when people see you like that, calm in the middle of the storm, they will wonder how you do it. They will try to drag you down. But you won't be moved because you've made the decision that nothing outside of you is more important than the calm within you. So So when you think about protecting your peace, remember this. It's not a one-time choice, it's a daily discipline. Every day you wake up, the world will try to steal your calm. Every day someone will test your boundaries. Every day you will have to decide, will I protect my peace or will I hand it away? And the more you choose to protect it, the stronger you become. Because peace is not just the absence of noise, it is the presence of power. And once you guard it, you discover that your calm is your crown. There's a difference between reacting and responding, and that difference is the gap between chaos and wisdom, between regret and peace. A reaction is instant, raw, unfiltered. It comes from the heat of the moment, and often it costs you more than you realize. A response, on the other hand, is measured, intentional, thoughtful. It comes from strength, not from impulse. When someone disrespects you, mocks you, or tries to drag you into their storm, your reaction wants to rise up first. It wants to spit fire, to clap back, to prove a point. But if you learn to pause and choose response over reaction, you'll notice something powerful. You remain in control. You're no longer a slave to emotions. You become the master of them. That is the true essence of power. Not the ability to strike back quickly, but the wisdom to know when, how, or even if you should strike at all. Reactions usually serve their agenda, not yours. Think about it. When someone wants to see you angry, they're setting a trap. They poke, they prod, they wait for you to explode, because your reaction becomes their evidence. They use your anger to discredit you, to label you, to paint a picture of you that's not true. That's why choosing response over reaction is so critical. A response exposes their game without you ever losing your ground. It shows them that no matter how hard they try, they cannot control your narrative. And when you respond instead of react, you turn their weapon into your wisdom. You rise above the trap, and suddenly their power over you disappears. Choosing response doesn't mean you're silent forever. It means you're strategic. It means you don't waste your energy on proving points that don't matter. You don't let temporary emotions make permanent decisions. Instead, you calculate, you think, you choose words and actions that align with your values, not your anger. That's what separates strong people from ordinary ones. Anyone can react, but not everyone can respond with clarity. A reaction is about the moment, but a response is about the outcome. When you choose response, you're not just thinking about right now. You're thinking about tomorrow, about your peace, about your growth. And that foresight is what keeps you ahead while everyone else is stuck in the cycle of reaction and regret. Have you noticed that people who always react live tired lives? They're constantly drained, always entangled in drama, forever cleaning up the mess of words they shouldn't have said and actions they shouldn't have taken. That's the price of reaction. It robs you twice. Once in the moment, and again in the aftermath. But those who choose response live differently. They walk lighter, they sleep better. They don't waste energy on unnecessary battles because they've learned to ask, is this worth my peace?
Wow.
Is this worth my energy? Wow. Most of the time, the answer is no. And with that clarity, they walk away not weaker, but stronger. They show the world that their calm cannot be bought and their dignity cannot be shaken.
Wow.
Choosing response over reaction also protects your relationships. How many friendships, families, and partnerships have been destroyed, not by what was done, but by how people reacted? A single moment of anger can tear down years of trust. But when you learn to respond, you save yourself from that destruction. You give space for communication, for understanding, for resolution. You give yourself the chance to speak life instead of death into a situation. And sometimes your response isn't even for the other person. It's for you. It's for your soul to stay unburdened, your conscience to stay clear. It's for your future self who doesn't deserve to carry the weight of words you didn't mean. Talk and go preempt in the pursuit of your relationship isn't even for the other person. It's for your soul to stay unburdened. Your conscience to stay clear. It's for your future self. But let me tell you this, choosing response takes courage, because reaction feels powerful in the moment, but it leaves you powerless later. Response feels quiet in the moment, but it leaves you powerful later. That's why so many people fall into reaction. They mistake speed for strength. But true strength is restraint. True power is patience. True courage is knowing you could explode but choosing not to. And when you master that, you gain a strength that no insult, no provocation, no attack can take away. You become untouchable because you're no longer driven by external triggers. You're driven by internal discipline. And here's the beauty of it. When you consistently choose response, people begin to respect you differently. They realize they can't play with your emotions, can't bait you into foolishness, can't pull you out of your peace. Even your enemies are forced to acknowledge your control because nothing frustrates a manipulator more than someone who refuses to react. Your response becomes your shield. Your silence becomes your strategy. Your calm becomes your crown. And those who once thrived on your anger begin to starve in the face of your discipline. That is how you shift power from their hands back into yours. So the next time you feel provoked, stop and ask yourself, do I want to give them a reaction that proves them right or a response that proves me stronger? That single choice can change everything. Because your life is not shaped by what happens to you, it is shaped by how you respond. And when you choose response over reaction, you choose growth over regret, wisdom over weakness, peace over chaos. And that choice, repeated day after day, builds a life that no one can control, no storm can shake, and no enemy can destroy. When someone tries to provoke you, what they're really doing is handing you their energy. They are pouring their frustration, their anger, their insecurity out in your direction, hoping you'll absorb it and throw it back. But here's the truth. You don't have to meet them on their level. Instead, you can take the very energy they meant to destroy you and use it to build yourself. You can turn their negativity into fuel, their hate into motivation, their attempts to break you into opportunities to strengthen your resolve. Using their energy against them isn't about revenge. It's about redirection. It's about refusing to waste what they've given you by throwing it back in rage and instead transforming it into power that works in your favor. That's the beauty of discipline. You don't let the energy die in chaos. You let it rise in purpose. Think about how exhausting it must be for them to constantly try to get a reaction out of you. Every insult, every dig, every sideways comment, it costs them energy. And if you react, you give them what they wanted, and their energy wins. But if you stay calm, if you redirect that energy, suddenly their effort becomes their loss. They spent energy trying to drag you down, but instead they lifted you higher. They spent energy trying to hurt you, but instead they revealed their own weakness. When you use their energy against them, you make their attacks powerless because you flipped the script. They wanted chaos, you found clarity. They wanted anger, you found strength. They wanted destruction, you found growth. This doesn't mean you ignore what they do, it means you reinterpret it. Instead of saying, why are they doing this to me? You say, what can I gain from this? Their insult teaches you patience. Their doubt teaches you faith. Their attempt to shame you teaches you dignity. Everything they throw at you becomes a lesson, a tool, a stepping stone. And the more they give, the more you grow.
Yes.
That's what it means to use their energy against them. You let them feed your evolution without even realizing it. You turn their attack into your advantage, and suddenly their power turns into your progress. But you must remember, this requires a shift in perspective. Most people see negativity and want to match it with more negativity. That's reaction, that's impulse. But when you've trained your mind to see every attack as energy you can redirect, you begin to welcome challenges differently. You stop being afraid of enemies because you realize they're just unwilling teachers. You stop resenting the critics because you realize they're your motivators in disguise. And once you see life this way, you become unstoppable because no matter what someone brings, you can turn it into fuel. They can't hurt you when you've decided everything they give only builds you stronger. There's a saying in martial arts, use your opponent's force against them.
Whoa.
If they push, you don't resist. You let their push carry them off balance. If they strike, you don't fight the strike head on, you redirect it. That's the same principle with emotional battles. When people attack you with negativity, don't clash with it. Redirect it. Let their push expose their own imbalance. Let their strike reveal their own weakness. You don't have to fight harder, you just have to be smarter. Because when you use their energy against them, you make them collapse under the weight of their own intentions. They don't fall because you hit them harder. They fall because they couldn't control themselves, while you controlled everything. This is why calmness is so intimidating. It's not just that you didn't react, it's that you took what they gave you and turned it into something they can't compete with. They gave you hate, but you answered with progress. They gave you insults, but you answered with silence that echoed louder. They gave you doubt, but you answered with achievements that silenced them forever. And that's the greatest revenge. Not screaming back, not proving your point in the moment, but letting their energy fuel your rise in a way they never expected. The higher you go, the more powerless their attacks become.
Wow.
And here's the secret. They will eventually exhaust themselves. People who thrive on negativity burn out faster than those who thrive on peace. When you don't give them the reaction they crave, their fire dies out. Their attempts feel wasted. Their energy drains with nothing in return. And all the while, you are stronger, calmer, wiser. You didn't just survive their storm. You absorbed its winds and let it push your sails forward. You kept your focus while they lost theirs. You built yourself while they destroyed themselves. That's the essence of using their energy against them. You win by refusing to play their game and instead turning their moves into your momentum. So the next time someone comes at you with anger, disrespect, or negativity, don't see it as an obstacle. See it as an offering.
Wow.
They are giving you energy, misused energy, yes, but still energy. And it's up to you whether you waste it or transform it.
That's amazing.
If you throw it back in anger, you lose. But if you absorb it, redirect it, and let it strengthen your discipline, you win every time. Because at the end of the day, life isn't about controlling what people throw at you, it's about mastering how you use it. And when you learn to use their energy against them, you become untouchable. Nothing they do can break you because everything they do only builds you. When you find yourself in a heated situation, when someone is doing everything they can to trigger you, it's easy to get caught in the urgency of the moment. You feel your heart racing, your fists clenching, your breath quickening, and suddenly the only thing that matters is winning that instant, proving your point, or giving them the same energy they're giving you. But here's the truth. Reacting in the short term often costs you in the long term. The people who truly grow, who truly build strong and unshakable lives, are the ones who refuse to sacrifice their future just to win an argument in the present. You don't have to win every battle today if it risks the war tomorrow.
Wow.
Every moment of anger you entertain takes energy from your future. Every time you let someone bait you into rage, you lose focus on the bigger picture. Thinking long-term means asking yourself, if I react right now, will this help me in a week, in a year, or will I regret it? That awareness alone shifts your mindset and helps you maintain power when others expect you to lose it. When you choose long-term thinking, you begin to see provocations for what they are. Temporary distractions. Someone insults you, spreads lies about you, or challenges you in public. They want you to fight back. They want to trap you in the moment. But if your goals are bigger than their pettiness, then why waste your breath proving something to them? Think of it this way. If your destination is greatness, why would you stop at every small argument along the road? Every second you spend defending yourself against nonsense is a second stolen from your future. Winners aren't obsessed with proving themselves right in every moment. Winners are focused on building a life that proves everyone wrong in the end. Short-term reactions give them the satisfaction of dragging you down. Long-term focus allows you to walk past them and build a life that speaks louder than any comeback ever could. The danger of short-term reactions is that they're often driven by ego, not wisdom. Ego screams, don't let them disrespect you, clap back right now. Ego wants to win instantly, to feel superior in the moment. But wisdom whispers, patience, hold back, think ahead. Wisdom sees that destroying your reputation with one angry outburst isn't worth it.
Wisdom.
Wisdom knows that holding your peace may sting today, but it preserves your integrity tomorrow. Which one do you want to live by, go or wisdom? If you want to be unshakable, if you want to be untouchable, you can't live for the instant gratification of reaction. You must rise above, even when it burns inside. And remember that your legacy is not built in seconds of anger, but in years of discipline, restraint, and strength. Choosing long-term vision means asking yourself, will this moment define me? Or will my consistency, my composure, and my unbreakable focus define me? Think about it. Some of the greatest downfalls happen because of one short-term decision. A leader loses their temper on camera and destroys years of credibility. A person in power lashes out at the wrong person and loses everything they worked for. All because they wanted to win the moment instead of the future. That's the trap anger sets. It makes you blind to tomorrow. It tricks you into believing the present insult is the only thing that matters. But those who master the art of long-term thinking understand that the real victory doesn't come from clapping back. It comes from staying calm, walking forward, and letting time reveal who is truly in control. Because time has a way of exposing the truth. And if you remain calm and focused, the world will eventually see who had the real strength. When you lock into long-term vision, you realize that your silence, your restraint, and your calmness are not weaknesses, they're weapons. They're proof that you are playing a bigger game than the person trying to bait you. Think of a chess master. They don't rush every move just to feel good about capturing one piece. They see the strategy, the patterns, the victory beyond the moment. You need to treat your life the same way. Don't trade your future for the satisfaction of a single moment. Don't allow small-minded people to pull you off the path of greatness because they want you to react to their nonsense. They live for the short term, you live for the long term. And that's why in the end, you will always win. Choosing long-term over short-term also builds respect. People might not applaud you for clapping back, but they will respect you for staying calm when you had every reason not to. They will admire your ability to walk away with your dignity intact. And even those who tried to provoke you will remember that they couldn't shake you. That kind of self-control sends a message louder than words. You cannot be moved, you cannot be manipulated, and you cannot be broken. That is how true leaders are recognized. Not by how they handle easy moments, but by how they respond when chaos and anger are thrown their way. And in the long run, your composure becomes your reputation, and your reputation becomes your power. This isn't easy. It requires discipline. It requires the willingness to endure the discomfort of holding your tongue, of swallowing your pride, of walking away when everything in you wants to stay and fight. But ask yourself, is the temporary relief of exploding worth the damage it might cause?
It's powerful.
Or is the strength of staying calm worth more in the long run? The answer is clear. When you align your actions with your future, discipline today creates freedom tomorrow. Sacrifice the instant gratification of reaction, and you'll gain the lasting satisfaction of victory. Don't confuse silence with defeat. Silence is strategy. Composure is strategy. And in time, strategy always wins over impulse. When you learn to think long-term, you also become harder to manipulate. People can only control you if they can predict you. If they know you explode every time they provoke you, they own you. But if they realize you won't trade your peace for their games, they lose their power over you. That's the beauty of thinking ahead. You stop being a puppet pulled by emotions and start being a master who chooses their moves wisely. Every time you resist the bait, you strengthen your control over yourself. And the person who has control over themselves will always have control over the room, the situation, and eventually their destiny.
Wow.
So remind yourself every time you're tested, the moment will pass, but the consequences of your reaction may last forever. Don't sell your future just to win today. Don't give up years of progress for seconds of pride. Keep your eyes on the bigger picture, on the life you're building, on the person you're becoming. That's the true measure of strength, not how loudly you can respond in anger, but how quietly you can hold your power, walk forward, and let the long game prove who you really are. Because at the end of the day, the short term belongs to them, but the long term belongs to you. When life throws people in your path who want to see you stumble, one of the greatest weapons you can carry is the ability to turn every slight, every insult, every attempt to break you into fuel for your own growth. Too many times, people get caught in the trap of trying to prove something back to those who doubted them, forgetting that the best proof is in living well and rising higher. Shifting your focus to growth means taking what was meant to weaken you and instead using it as a stepping stone.
Wow.
It's looking at adversity not as an enemy, but as a teacher, a strict teacher maybe, but one who is shaping you into a better version of yourself. Every time someone tries to drag you into their chaos, you have a choice. Stay in their storm, or use the winds to push you closer to your destination. The moment you decide that their negativity will not dictate your path is the same moment you reclaim your power. Growth isn't about showing them you're stronger. It's about proving to yourself that nothing and no one can stop your evolution unless you allow it. Focusing on growth is understanding that peace and progress are built when you keep your eyes on the bigger picture, not the temporary noise. It's choosing to ask yourself in every heated situation, what lesson is this teaching me? What strength is being forged in me right now? Growth doesn't happen in the comfort of silence. It happens in the friction of trials. And those who attempt to trigger your anger unknowingly become instruments in your transformation. They think they're breaking you down, but really they're building you up. Growth requires humility too. It's recognizing that sometimes you will have to let go of your pride, and instead of responding to disrespect with fire, you respond with silence, patience, and wisdom. This isn't weakness, it's maturity. And when you keep your focus on becoming stronger, wiser, and calmer through it all, you realize that every attack is just an opportunity to sharpen your character and elevate your mindset. When you fix your attention on growth, you begin to understand that every person in your life is either an asset or a lesson. Some come to uplift you, others come to test you, and both are necessary for your journey. If you only welcome the easy and the pleasant, you'd never develop resilience. But when you embrace the tests and the trials with the mindset of growth, you start asking, how is this shaping me? How can I use this experience to become more patient, more disciplined, more unshakable?
Yeah.
That shift in perspective is what separates those who get stuck in bitterness from those who rise into greatness. While others waste time replaying what someone said, you're building your future. While others are distracted by conflict, you're sharpening your craft. Growth requires discipline to keep your eyes forward when others want to pull you backward. And slowly, without realizing it, you become untouchable, not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. Growth is not measured by how quickly you shut down someone else's attempt to disrespect you. It's measured by how deeply you evolve from it. Someone mocking you today might think they've hurt you, but in truth, they may have just unlocked a fire inside of you that pushes you to climb higher than ever before. Think of the greatest leaders, the strongest individuals. You'll find they weren't made in comfort. They were forged in challenges, in rejection, and betrayal. The difference is that they didn't let those moments define them. They let those moments refine them. That's the essence of shifting your focus to growth. Every painful word, every act of betrayal, every attempt to drag your spirit down becomes fertilizer for your future success. You water it with discipline, you protect it with peace, and in time you see the fruits in your strength, your wisdom, your unshakable calm. Shifting focus to growth also means letting go of the need to win every battle in the moment. Not every insult requires your energy. Not every disrespect deserves a response.
Come on.
Some battles are distractions meant to keep you from climbing. Growth requires the humility to walk away not because you couldn't fight, but because you knew your time was too valuable to waste on what doesn't elevate you. That's a mindset shift most people never reach because ego blinds them into thinking reaction equals strength. But true strength is measured by your ability to remain calm when the world expects you to explode. It's your ability to keep building while others are busy tearing down. Growth teaches you patience, and patience makes you dangerous. Not in a violent way, but in a way that makes you unstoppable. When you're no longer reactive, when you've trained yourself to rise above, you become a person no one can control. Think of growth like training in silence. While others are loud, trying to prove themselves, you're quietly getting better.
Yes.
They don't see the hours you spend reflecting, healing, learning. They don't see the inner battles you win when you choose discipline over anger. They don't see how many times you've swallowed pride for the sake of peace. But when the time comes, they'll see the results.
Yes.
That's the beauty of growth. It's invisible in the moment, but undeniable in the outcome. People will wonder how you stayed calm, how you stayed focused, how you kept building while under fire. The answer is simple. You shifted your focus from proving them wrong to becoming the best version of yourself.
Yes.
And once you master that, their opinions lose power because you realize they were never the ones who defined your worth.
Yes.
Growth also teaches you gratitude in the face of hardship. Instead of asking, why me, you begin to ask, what is this teaching me? That shift changes everything. When you're grateful even for the struggle, you become someone who cannot be shaken. You understand that storms don't come to destroy you, they come to clear the path, to remove what doesn't belong, to strengthen your roots. Gratitude keeps you calm because it shifts your attention away from the pain and onto the progress. It reminds you that even in the darkest moments, You're still being shaped,
Wow.
still being molded, still being guided. And when you embrace this with faith, you stop resenting the trials and start respecting the growth they bring. That's when peace becomes your natural state. Shifting focus to growth means you stop chasing validation. You stop needing people to see your strength in the moment. You understand that your journey is bigger than proving a point. And when you live this way, peace follows you naturally. The ones who try to provoke you will grow frustrated because they can't pull you into their trap. They'll expect a reaction, but all they'll find is a steady, calm presence that refuses to be moved. That's growth. Not seeking revenge, not needing applause, just quietly evolving into the kind of person whose strength speaks louder than any words could. Growth makes you a living example of resilience, and when others see it, they can't help but respect it, even if they never admit it. The ultimate power of shifting focus to growth is freedom. Freedom from being controlled by people's opinions, freedom from being enslaved to reactions, freedom from the constant need to prove yourself. It's the freedom of knowing that no matter what comes your way, betrayal, criticism, anger, you are still moving forward. And in that freedom, you find peace. Peace that cannot be touched, peace that cannot be shaken, peace that becomes your foundation in every storm. Because at the end of the day, growth isn't about them, it's about you. It's about becoming so solid, so unshakable, that their attempts to provoke you become nothing more than noise in the background of your greatness. Silence is not weakness. It is strategy, it is wisdom, it is the art of winning battles without ever raising your voice. When you stay silent in the face of provocation, you are not ignoring them. You are choosing to communicate on a higher level. Silence unsettles people because it removes the power they seek in your reaction. Words can be twisted, but silence cannot be manipulated. It speaks louder than arguments, louder than shouting, louder than justification. It tells them, you do not control me, you do not deserve my energy. And when they realize they can't drag you into chaos, that silence becomes the most powerful answer you could ever give. It teaches them that your peace is too valuable to be wasted, and your maturity is too strong to be broken by their immaturity. There's a reason why silence is often feared by those who crave control. It forces them to face themselves. When you don't respond, they hear their own voice echo back at them. And sometimes that echo is louder than any words you could have spoken. They start questioning themselves, wondering if they even matter in your world. That silence becomes a mirror that reflects their insecurity, their toxicity, their weakness. And while they were expecting a battle, what they get instead is the crushing weight of being ignored. The moment you choose silence, you stop feeding the fire they started. Without your reaction, the fire has no fuel. It dies out. And they are left with the ashes of their own bitterness, realizing you will not play their game. Silence also has the ability to preserve your dignity. In a world where everyone wants to prove themselves right, defend their name, and strike back harder, the one who holds their peace stands taller. Silence allows you to rise above the petty and stay focused on the bigger picture. You don't have to argue to validate yourself because the truth never needs an explanation. When you're silent, you're saying, I know who I am. I don't need your approval and I don't need your validation.
Oh my God.
That kind of confidence is unshakable. People admire it, even if they don't admit it. They see that you are operating on a different level, that your character is louder than any insult, and your peace is more valuable than any temporary victory.
Jesus.
But silence isn't just about ignoring negativity, it's about protecting your energy. Every time you argue with someone who doesn't care to understand you, you waste emotional fuel that could have been invested in your dreams, your growth, your future. Silence allows you to conserve that energy. It is the discipline of choosing what deserves your words and what doesn't. Not every battle is worth fighting. Not every insult deserves a response, and not every opinion matters. Silence is choosing yourself over chaos. It is valuing your inner calm more than their need for attention. And that discipline is what separates people who are constantly drained from those who walk with strength. When you let silence speak, you also gain clarity. Words spoken in anger often become regrets later, but silence keeps you in control. It gives you time to reflect, to observe, to understand what's really happening beneath the surface. It sharpens your discernment, allowing you to see people's true colors without distractions. Sometimes the most powerful move is to say nothing at all. Because in your silence, you begin to notice patterns, intentions, and truths that words would have blurred. Silence clears the noise so you can see reality for what it really is. And once you see the truth, you know exactly how to move forward without wasting time on unnecessary drama. Silence also becomes a form of discipline that builds mental toughness. It's not easy to stay quiet when everything in you wants to shout back, defend yourself, or clap back harder. But the ability to control your tongue is the ability to master yourself. And self-mastery is the foundation of strength. When you practice silence, you are training your mind to rise above impulsive reactions. You are proving to yourself that you are stronger than your emotions, stronger than your triggers, stronger than their attempts to provoke you. That kind of discipline turns you into someone unshakable. Because if they can't get a reaction from you, they can't control you. Silence also has the power to create mystery.
Powerful, guys.
When you don't reveal everything you think or feel, people are forced to wonder. That uncertainty makes them curious and sometimes even intimidated. Because silence cannot be predicted, and unpredictability is a strength. They don't know if your silence means strategy, wisdom, or strength, but they know one thing for sure. You are not easily moved. That unpredictability gives you power, because the less you reveal, the harder it is for people to use your words against you. Silence protects you from being misquoted, misunderstood, or manipulated. It is your shield against the games of people who thrive on drama. At the same time, silence can be a form of teaching. Not every lesson has to be spoken. Sometimes the way you handle a situation becomes the greatest message. When you choose silence instead of anger, you are teaching others that emotional control is strength. You are showing them that your peace cannot be purchased with provocation. That lesson echoes louder than any lecture because people feel it. They see that you are not like the rest, that you are operating on a different frequency, and that in itself inspires respect. Silence sets a standard. It tells others how to treat you without you ever saying a word. And finally, silence is a reminder that you don't have to fight every battle to win the war. The loudest person in the room is not always the strongest. The calmest person often holds the greatest power. Silence is not surrender. It is strategy. It's the refusal to give away your strength for free. It's the choice to protect your peace, your energy, your focus, and your dignity.
Powerful, guys.
It's the decision to let them exhaust themselves while you remain steady, unbothered, and grounded. In that silence, you are not losing, you are winning on a level they can't even see. Because at the end of the day, silence speaks louder than any words you could have spoken. Life has a way of testing us through people, through circumstances, through moments designed to break our character and pull us out of alignment. All along this journey, you've been handed opportunities to grow.
Thank you for listening.
Opportunities to rise above. And opportunities to hold your peace when the world wanted to snatch it from you. Staying calm when others want you angry is not weakness. It's power. It's the mark of someone who knows that life is bigger than one insult, one betrayal, one argument, one moment of provocation. Anger burns fast, but calm builds forever. The choice you make to stand rooted in who you are rather than in what they do to you defines not just that moment, but the kind of life you build. Think about it. Every time you chose not to react, you taught the world a lesson about who you really are. You showed them that your dignity can't be stolen, your peace can't be purchased, and your self-control is stronger than their attempts to tear you apart. That's what true maturity looks like. It's not about shouting louder, it's about standing taller. It's not about fighting fire with fire, it's about becoming water that puts the flames out without burning itself in the process. People will always try to provoke you. That's their nature. But you don't have to let their storms move you. You can remain the calm in the middle of it all. Steady, unshaken, and unbroken. When you learn to protect your peace, you start to see the world differently. You stop living life on defense, always waiting for the next attack, and you begin to live on offense, building your future, regardless of who tries to slow you down. Staying calm allows you to hear yourself more clearly, to hear God's whispers more clearly, and to walk a straighter path than if you were consumed by the noise of anger. Anger blinds you, but calm gives you sight. Anger chains you, but calm sets you free. Anger reacts, but calm responds with wisdom. The question is never what people do to you. The real question is always what you choose to do with what they've done. That choice will either keep you trapped or set you free. And make no mistake, every time you resist the temptation to lash out, You are not only protecting yourself in the present, you are shaping your future. The opportunities you keep, the relationships you strengthen, the respect you earn,
Powerful.
it all grows from the soil of self-control. Think about the most powerful figures in history, the ones who changed the world. They weren't the loudest in the room. They weren't the quickest to anger. They carried themselves with restraint, with dignity, with calm that commanded attention. That same spirit lives inside you if you are willing to embrace it. You don't need to meet chaos with chaos. You need to meet it with composure, with clarity,
I don't want to hold my palms up.
with courage, rooted in peace. This doesn't mean
that.
you allow people to walk over you. No, staying calm is not surrender, it's strategy. It's knowing you don't have to fight every battle to win the war.
Oh, wow.
It's knowing that silence can cut sharper than words and restraint can sting louder than rage. It's knowing that when you don't let them control your emotions, you take away their greatest weapon. Staying calm doesn't mean you don't see what's happening. It means you see everything, but you're wise enough not to get trapped by it. You rise above instead of sinking down. You lead with control instead of being led by impulse. The beauty of staying calm is that it always works in your favor. In relationships, it prevents you from saying things you'll regret. In business, it positions you as the one people can trust when tension rises. In personal life, it keeps your energy from being wasted on nonsense. Staying calm is not just an emotional discipline. It's a life strategy.
Yes.
It keeps your mind clear, your spirit steady, and your future secure. People may test you, situations may stress you, but if you master calmness, you'll walk away stronger every time. The world admires calm, even if it pretends to admire anger, because calm endures. Calm creates.
Calm creates.
Calm wins.
Calm wins.
As you carry these lessons forward, remember that calmness is not something you turn on and off when you feel like it. It must be a lifestyle, a way of living that shapes every choice you make. It's in the way you speak, the way you carry yourself,
Yes.
the way you pause before responding, the way you let silence fight battles your words never could. It's about recognizing that your greatest strength is not in your fists, not in your tongue, not in your ability to argue. It's in your ability to remain still when the world expects you to break.
Yes.
That's where your power lies. That's where your freedom is found. There will be days when you fail, when you slip, when your anger gets the best of you. Don't let that make you think calmness is impossible for you. It is a muscle, and like any muscle, it grows the more you use it. Every test, every insult, every betrayal is simply another workout for your spirit. Don't see it as punishment, see it as preparation. Every time you choose calm over chaos, you're strengthening your ability to stay rooted the next time. You are becoming the person who doesn't just survive storms, you become the storm that can't be moved. So as you walk forward from here, make a vow to yourself. No matter what they say, no matter what they do, you will not be controlled. You will not be provoked into becoming something you are not. You will live with calm. You will live with peace. You will live with strength that doesn't need to be proven in arguments, but proven in restraint. This is the life that brings true power, true respect, true fulfillment. It is not the loudest who win, it is the calmest. It is those who choose peace over anger, response over reaction, long-term wisdom over short-term emotion. That is the life you are capable of building, if only you choose it. Thank you for walking this journey with me. I pray you carry this spirit of calmness into every room, every conversation, and every challenge you face. May you rise above the noise, may you find peace in the storms, and may your calm become your crown. Thank you, God bless you, and may your days ahead be filled with strength, wisdom, and unshakable peace.
Wow, wow, wow. That was awesome. That was absolutely awesome. I'm telling you, guys, I wish you could have heard the beginning portion of it. I didn't get you guys on at the very beginning, but I think you understood the gist of what was being said. Guys, it's not the loudest, and it's not the ones that you arguing back and forth. The way I win battles, I had to learn this. The way I win battles is I will just shut down. Yes, I just shut down. People can tell you they'll work with me on my job. If somebody is kind of like coming at me the wrong way, one of my clients or one of my patients out there saying something that they are expecting a negative reaction, I just shut down. I just shut down. And they look at me like, and okay, guys, it's on YouTube, guys. I'm sorry, we've been on an hour, so I'm gonna have to let you guys go over there. But let me share this with you. Let me close you guys out. Just remember the words wisdom. Remember what you heard tonight. And I'm so glad everybody on YouTube was just so blessed. Let's pray. Let's pray, guys. Father God, in the name of Jesus, we thank you. We thank you for the words of wisdom. And Lord God, we thank you that they will not only feed our emotions, but Lord, that they will get down into our spirit man and it will become, as Denzel was saying, a part of our nature, a part of our lives, Lord God. That we will even be like our example, Jesus. He will just say, peace, be still. He will say, he just said peace, and the sea had to calm down. It was raging and raging and raging, but he said, peace, be still. He said, even before the scripture says, even before we enter someone's house, and how many of us do this? Before you even enter, you ought to say peace over this place, because you never know what is going on and what intent the enemy have. But you come in and you bring peace, calmness. Husband and wives are bickering, and I know one want to get the other, and everybody want to have the last word. But you know what? When you just cease, pause, just collect yourself, think about it, and it confounds the enemy. I'm telling you, it confounds the enemy, because the enemy wants you to strike back. He wants you to strike back. But you, in turn, have found the way, the key to victory. And the key to victory is to build a fortress around your peace. And you begin to say, I will not allow you to rob me of my peace today. And that's it. And you stand firm in the name of Jesus. If you have to bite your tongue, if you have to count to 10, if you have to pat your foot somewhere, or you have to start humming, I don't know what you need to do. But you master, you ask God to help you master the weapon of calmness, the weapon of pause. In Jesus' name. God bless you guys. I can't wait to see you guys in our next video. You guys have a blessed night. YouTube, I'm going to say good night. I'm still over on Big Go Live for a minute. So guys, love you. God bless you. And thanks for all of your comments and all that you've done. I'm going to see you right here.